my good... Quite the cozy setup you have here. I'll just make myself comfortable. Thank you so much.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Alas, no. The charm Elminster granted me requires my death as the spark that will light the orb's fuse. Making myself invulnerable, immortal, or in any other fashion unkillable would render it useless. And gods only know what it might do to the orb itself. Still, I see no harm in learning what we can about this night song. And if we manage to find it, the harm will be all Ketheric's. So, well worth indulging our curiosity.
How can I help? I question the wisdom of that. I'll be here in...
Thaniel still suffers. There'll be no improvement until his essence is restored, I fear. In truth, I'm not sure. This is beyond all reckoning. It's still part of Thaniel deep down, but it may not recognize that, or want to recognize that. Perhaps it can be reasoned with, but I'm not hopeful. Reason is not something that thrives amidst the Shadow Curse. Good. Now our roots can deepen. Together.
All's well that ends. Not as bad as it could have.
Oakfather preserve you. No matter how it's been twisted by the shadows, it is still part of Thaniel's essence. It will resemble him somehow, and may show signs of his power. Look for signs of life in the darkness, wildflowers where everything else is dead. The curse cannot subdue the power Thaniel bears. Not entirely. In fact, I think I saw just the sort before, not long after we first came within reach of the Shadow Curse. Fool that I am, I did not grasp their significance at the time. There is a ruin some way outside of Last Light. I caught a glimpse of fresh blooms there, but did not investigate further. I shall mark it upon your map. Only by reputation. She was present when we marched against Ketheric Thorm, but on the far end of the battle lines from where I fought. And in the chaos that ensued, well, our forces were scattered. I led some to safety, but never learned of her fate. I'm glad to hear she survived. Though in truth, I should not be surprised. She was always said to be formidable and cunning. I could have learned much from her, no doubt. No matter how long I live, I will always strive to remain a keen pupil. Only a fool would think he could drink in all knowledge until none is left. There is always more. Nature's tapestry is infinitely complex. I cannot help but wonder how she would have handled some of the challenges I faced as Archdruid. Defended the Grove, Korga, the Shadow Druids. At least now we can benefit from her presence, and perhaps work to a common goal. Honestly, I never thought I'd make it that far. But the Absolute is a threat to all, and I promised I'd help you with your parasite. So, I'll remain with you. If you'll have me, that is. So do I. But one duty at a time. Druids and Harpers joined together to put a stop to Ketheric Thorm. We marched on Moonrise, and after much fighting, we prevailed. Even in defeat, though, Ketheric turned to Shah. Not long after we sealed him away in his tomb, the Shadow Curse took hold. No one had seen the likes of it before. No one knew how to react. Then it started to claim all those within its reach. Those who had survived the battles now fell to the shadows, became part of the shadows. And worst of all, I lost contact with Thaniel. I wanted to try and find him, but we couldn't stay. We would have all succumbed. When the Archdruid of the Grove, my predecessor, was seized by the curse, I had to lead the survivors to safety. That was my first day as Archdruid. An inauspicious beginning. You are right, but I must not lose focus until everything has been put right. I've wasted too much time already. Years in which nature has suffered. It's true, and I can't imagine I helped with that. Sometimes I let the task at hand consume me, and people think I'm obsessed. Trust me, the day I no longer have to talk about the Shadow Curse will be a happy one. What would you like to know? I am? Trust me, it's been said. You show more restraint than most in avoiding the subject until now. Who's to say? Perhaps there's a half-orc buried somewhere in my ancestry. Or perhaps not. Sometimes I think conventional wisdom is too narrow about what someone can or cannot be. Stranger things have most certainly happened. I had a friend when I was young, long ago. He played with me in the forests where I grew up. But eventually, I realized no one else had heard of him. It was Thaniel, of course. Nature was my very first friend. I get older, but he hasn't changed a day. I knew then that I had to be more than a companion to him. I had to be a protector. You're not a doppelganger, are you? Trying to save for me? My line perished a long time ago. They rest in high forest now, near the shade of the grandfather tree. The grove. I'm 350 years old. Of course there have been lovers. Just because I love nature doesn't mean I'm betrothed to it. Though sometimes nature needs reminding. Well, I didn't pick this scar up in battle. I was in wild shape, only I forgot it was the season when bears are particularly social. A she-bear claimed me as her own and did not appreciate being spurned. Right now, I bed down alone, I'm afraid. Perhaps once I talk less of... I suppose you wouldn't be shocked to learn I love animals. I know. Well-trodden territory. Well then, let's see. I whittle in my spare time, and I've something of a sweet tooth. Although everyone's very amused when I say I like honey. Ornaments, utensils, and ducks. I like ducks. I like what I like. Once you get to my age, thank me by returning the favor, why don't you? Come on. I'm sure you've something better than carving wooden ducks. Well, they are fierce creatures from what I understand, but as long as... Anytime. Given the circumstances, you're faring as well...
Not back to gloat, are you? Nobody likes a bad winner.
Though shrouded in shadows, the child's resemblance to Thaniel is unmistakable. This must be his dark half, warped by the curse.
I still think you might have tricked me. If you did, I'll figure it out. Spoil sport. I'm not going back. I like it here. I've made a family for myself. I get to play all the time. Yes, I do. You can't make me do anything. I don't want to play with you anymore.
He's scarpered. We'd better track him down if the shadows don't stop us first.
It's as if On my way. go.
just leave me alone? Why can't I just stay here, playing? I had everything I've ever wanted, right here! And you've ruined it. I'm not leaving. You can't make me.
Be gentle. He's much more than a child. But he doesn't truly know that.
He's nothing to me. He left me here all this time. I had to do everything for myself. Even when it was scary, even when I was alone. I didn't give up. But would he even want me back? I've changed. A lot. So I wouldn't have to make up friends to play with anymore. I'd have someone real. I'd like that. And he would too, I think. All right, I'll do it. I want to do it.
Well done.
Are you crying? You're a bit big to be crying. But I suppose that's okay. Bye. And thank you for playing with me.
It's done, at last. Soon the land will be unshrouded. We should return to Thaniel when we can.
His head away in shame.
Should get
His
some rest.
neighbors would not
I need to
renounce
keep sharp.
Selena. Now they hang in the town square. Here lies the Grand Mason, his bones and lies exposed.
See any movement out there?
Too dark to tell. Do you two need anything? Something to eat or drink?
We kept Art safe.
The druid Halsin spoke to me while I was sleeping. He spoke of you. Said that you fought shadow and spite to restore me. 100 years of sickness almost ended. I feel every root that riddles the earth beginning to unfold. But there is one anchor, still holding the shadows in place. The soul that brought it into being, for the land to heal. Ketheric Thorm must die.
Oakfather preserve you. Wherever you need me, I'll be right here in...
Halsin is one hench elf. I'm impressed. And glad he's on our side. Aces. I'd love to, thanks.
Is that blood? No, never mind.
What's next?
Burn yourself.
Tremors. Like a child.
Through a narrow crack in the wall, you hear something shift against stone. The pulse of a crawling, living thing.
What am I to do? There's no time to waste. My faith will guide me.
Can't give up now.
Saving me.
Quiet! Most of yes. Drawings.
Through a narrow crack in the wall, you hear something shift against stone. The pulse of a crawling, living thing. You can't quite catch a glimpse, but you recognize this feeling. The same alien presence you felt on the Nautiloid. Your awareness unfolds, expanding through every wall in the tower, every mind. A vast living network extending down into the dark, where something wakes.
What is that? It's a trap!
Tendrils snap like iron cords around your wrist. That presence in your mind looms large, closer now. With a soft sucking sound, your hand pulls free. The flesh within the wall retreats.
Let me try it next time. Look fun.
Right? Or what? Under the axe.
Well, Flo didn't tell a lie. She said you'd find me, and here you are. Karlach, isn't it?
Now there's a name I'd hope never to hear again. What was Flo doing here?
Didn't think to quiz her about her business.
Florenta the Garotta. A Cambion I knew back in Avernus. She was the closest thing I had to a friend. That said, she would have choked the life out of me if I ever turned my back on her. The fact that she knows where I am, where I might be going, doesn't exactly delight me. Maybe. Probably. I don't know. She's a half-devil. Impossible to read. I wouldn't have given her the time of day, but even I needed a laugh once in a while. What can I say? The bitch had good jokes.
Enough chatter. Your friend gave me 3 soul coins, said I could sell them if I wanted. But if I kept them for you, she'd consider it a favor owed.
Soul coins, huh? This could come in handy.
Sure. But she did have a condition. For every coin you take, you've got to hear the story of the soul trapped inside.
There you have it. Flo came all this way just to try to make me feel like shit. Clever use of her time. Memorized a bunch of sad stories on her behalf, did you?
Didn't need to. Your Flo did some devil woo-woo and stuck 'em in my head. Couldn't forget now if I wanted to. Do you want the coins or not? First coin's got the soul of a woman named Maveri. She was born to a cruel mother, and a violent father, and 3 evil brothers, all named Baldur. She never knew a day of love in all her life. When she was a girl of 15, she sold her soul to Tiamat in exchange for someone who would love her unconditionally. She got what she asked for. A fellow named Clint, destined to be her soulmate. Struck by a cart and died a few moments after clapping eyes on our Maveri. Poor guy. The scud of her soul is yours now.
Thanks, I guess.
This'n has got the soul of a man named Frakes. Lived in a village near Neverwinter. Hit hard by the worst hunger in 1,000 years. Frakes called out for help. Prayed for his children to have meat to eat. Zariel answered. Made old Frakes grow flesh upon flesh after flesh. His wee ones had all the meat they could stomach.
He should have known. Better to die 1,000 deaths than let Zariel into your life.
Karlach's the one set to consume. Last one's got the soul of a little boy named Ungir. 8 years old. He liked playing in the sun with his friends. That's all I know.
That's all?
That's all. Oh, and this slip of scratch.
Well, thanks, Flo. Hearing a bunch of desperate horror has ruined my day, which I suppose was the point.
You got 3 soul coins after the bargain, didn't you? I'd quit whinging if I were you. I did my part. That means our business is done. Unless you've got actual gold to hand. better hope you can handle.